it's week 1 and you don't want to make like a mountain out of it, but it's an important game.
Yeah.
Like it is a divisional game. It's a conference game. And like, look, if they lose, okay, they're on one. But if you lose, you're 0-1, you're playing Philly.
It's that football show here on KC Sports Over Tucker Franklin, hanging out with Matt Verderame for your Monday morning edition of that football show. And look, it's back. We got football. We're talking about a real football game this week. We've had real football this past weekend, and there's real football coming up this weekend. Got to thank our partner, Spin Holiday Bottled and Bond Bourbon Holiday Distillery. I'll be hanging out there this for week 2 of college football. You guys can come hang out with us. Check the link in the description there if you want to watch some college football with myself, ESPN's Matt Miller as well. But, Matt, it's back. Football is
back. It's back. None of this bullshit where we got to watch the preseason and pretend, like there's like nothing to take but unbelievable importance out of every moment. We don't have to talk about OTAs and mini camp. We don't talk about training camp. We don't talk about 30 you guys who aren't going to make the team. We're going to talk about real, honest to God football. And that is a beautiful thing.
It is. It's wonderful. Very glad that it's back. A phenomenal weekend of college football. Week 1 college football was great. Perfect little appetizer before we get Eagles, Cowboys on Thursday, Chiefs, Chargers on Friday. Then we'll be back for another podcast on Saturday as well. We'll have that for you guys before we're leading into the full slate of week 1 games. Super excited to get this all going and everything with football being back. Man, it's so great to like.
Excited. It's not excited. Yeah, everybody associated with the Dallas Cowboys except Jerry Jones.
Yeah, you know what? I think that we should talk about that a little bit because we had recorded a podcast on Thursday afternoon.
As it was happening.
As the whole thing was happening, and I recorded a little bit of a disclaimer, so appreciate everybody. And I was like, hey, time moves fast, everything like that. But the Micah Parsons deal and then giving Verderame Bland a 4-year contract cannot sit well with Cowboys fans. I cannot imagine.
Honest to God, like nothing against Verderame Bland, who had a year like
not his fault.
He picked 6 everything.
Yes.
Verderame Bland is a good player. Like that's what he is. He's good. He's good, solid football. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve a second contract. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve big money. It is a brutal look when you don't pay Micah Parsons and then turn around and give Verderame Bland $92 million after giving Jake Ferguson a big contract this offseason. Like, look, man, I get it. But I will say this. Have you watched the America's Team documentary on Netflix?
I have not. I need to, but I have not yet.
I don't know how to word this professionally, so I'm going to do my best here. I'm about 2/3 of the way through it. It is the most shameless PR. The best way I can put this, I guess, it is shameless PR for Jerry Jones.
Yeah,
like to the point that he's claiming that he did the Herschel Walker trade. That he knows as much about football as Jimmy Johnson. Like it's unbelievable. And when you're watching this whole thing, you're like, oh no, I get why not why, I guess, but I get how they did this. I get it. Because Jerry thinks he's playing 3D chess. And it's like, hey man, it's Micah Parsons.
Right.
He's great and stuff. You might want to just pay him. And I love that he got Kenny Clark back in the deal. Like, look, Kenny Clark's fine in a while. He's also 30 years old here.
Yeah.
Like, were the Packers like, yeah, we'll give you 2 first. And then Jerry was like, hold on a minute. And thought about it. And Kenny Clark. Like, was Gutekunst on the other end of the phone? Just like, hey, really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Let's do that. So yeah, they're the only people not excited because even like people like Saints fans, the Browns fans, they haven't been excited at all because they know what's coming.
Right?
They know an all-you-can-eat pain train is coming down the tracks, right? But like, if we're sitting here talking about like Cowboys fans are like maybe the most delusional fans on earth. So they all, I'm sure, were like, we're going to win 12 games this year,
right?
And now, like, Micah's gone, and you're like, yeah, you know what? You're not. You're going to win like 6. So good
Right.
luck to you. Have fun this season.
Yeah, it's absolutely brutal. I got a buddy who is a Nebraska and a Cowboys fan. So
Wow.
Nebraska, yeah, he took his dad's team, and his dad might have been a bandwagoner in the 90s.
Yeah, it's all about Tommy Frazier and Troy Aikman. Let's go. Let's get him.
Shout out my buddy Shane. He's incredibly loyal. Like that's the one test of like,
I respect it.
yeah, that is one test of a man. Like girls always like, how do I know if he's loyal? Well, does he like a shitty sports team? That's how you know if the dude's loyal.
Does he root for the Knicks? Oh, he's not going anywhere. You could do anything to that man.
Yeah,
He's
that's
already dead inside.
that's the test right there.
Yeah.
Look, the Chargers might fall into that too, as they seem like that they are always dealing with all kinds of injuries and everything. And we talked about this. Well, obviously, what happened with the Rashawn Slater injury, they're going to be without him. He did sign a big money contract, but look, it's now officially game week. We can talk about a real life game and the Chiefs taking on the Chargers. The week is all kind of messed up because this game is happening on Friday. Right. So on Sunday, the Chiefs had like their Wednesday pressers. Patrick Mahomes was up there talking about kind of the flight schedule and everything. If you remember, Matt, when they went over to Germany, they kind of did it a little non-traditional of like how they did it because they weren't out there for very long.
Right.
Because they don't want it to impact the next week. And that's the big thing is you don't want it to impact the time change to impact that very next week. They're going to go out there and they've done a lot of research. Patrick Mahomes talked about like the trainers, about everything of them making sure that they've got proper care on this 12-hour flight they're about to take and everything leading up to this game in Brazil on a field that was not highly touted as like the most popular field to play on.
It was not
in the NFL last year. So thoughts on just the whole travel situation heading out to Brazil?
Well, I mean, the travel situation's ridiculous, but that's going to be true of any game that's not in North America. So the good side of it is it's week 1. Mm-hmm. You're not doing this in week 9 when you're which, by the way, when they played in Germany, it was in the middle of the season. What week that was? It was like week 7, week 8.
I think it was 9. I think you nailed it. Yeah.
Was it actually literally 9? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They had a bye week afterwards too.
Yes, which of course helps. And in this case, they're going to get a couple days extra. But no, listen, I mean, it's tough. It's a tough thing. That being said, these are NFL teams. These guys are not flying coach on American Airlines. Okay. Like, yes. They're getting the works. I mean, this is not you and me jumping on a flight to Tahiti. Okay. Like it's a little bit different. I don't want to sit here and poo-poo it, but I don't think it matters that much. It's not like the Chargers are playing a home game. I mean, technically they are, but like, they got to fly there too. And,
right.
I think it's smart not to be there for an insane amount of time. Like, I know some teams get out there these games like super early. I just think after a while, you're human. Like, you're worn out, man. Like, it's just, I almost think you're better off just getting there and ripping the Band-Aid off. Like, okay, we're going to get there. We're going to be there for whatever, 2 days. We're going to play. We're going to get the hell out of here. Like, it's business. We're getting in, we're getting out. We're not going for a sightseeing tour. And, it's weird. Because we're coming out of it, or well, I guess we're still in. But like, if you're a Royals fan or whatever, it's baseball season, right? It's 162 games. Like, you can't live and die with every game. I don't care who you are, and if you do, you need institutional help. But in football, it's week 1, and you don't want to make like a mountain out of it, but it's an important game. Yeah. Like, it is a divisional game. It's a conference game. And like, look, if they lose, okay, they're on. But if you lose, you're 0-1. You're playing Philly. Like, you better win against Philly. But if you win this game, you get on that plane back home, assuming everybody's like reasonably healthy. You get on that plane back home, you're like, we're 1-0. Already won, arguably the hardest game we're going to play in the division.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on how you feel about them and the Broncos,
right?
No matter what, one of the road games. And you're coming back home 1-0, and the Ravens and Bills play or something. One of them's losing, so you're ahead of them by a game,
right?
Like, it's you're immediately in a good spot, like instantly. You're in a really good spot. So it's week 1 and all that. It's one game, but it is a meaningful game. And of course, they're not going to have Rashee Rice, which we didn't even talk about last time because it hadn't happened yet. I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think we touched on it at the end.
Okay. Either way, he's obviously out, but
right.
Look, they're better than the Chargers. Like they should. I'm not just saying they should win this game. I mean, they're a better football team. Doesn't mean they will, but they should. They should beat. I almost said San Diego. They should beat Los Angeles in this game.
They should beat San Diego too. Regardless, right now I'm just looking over at our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook. You'll hear a little bit from them later. 3-point favorites are right now. The Chiefs are over the Chargers. Yep. I'd feel pretty good about taking the 3 points there. Truthfully, we'll see. What I want to talk about though is the last time we saw Patrick Mahomes in the Chiefs offense, the ones on the Chiefs offense, they looked pretty damn good. And they looked incredibly exciting. Now, that was obviously with Rashee Rice. Hollywood Brown has been working back. It doesn't I think Jalen Royals is still dealing with an injury, nursing an injury there. So who knows if he's going to play or anything like
not practicing. He said that he sounds like a long shot. But other than Royals, it seems like everybody else is going to play unless something happens during the week.
Right. So Hollywood, Royals, I don't know how much they would have used Royals anyway, right? He's a rookie in week 1, so they probably wouldn't have used him a whole lot. I don't know if there's a ton of fantasy implications there. I saw some people tweeting about like fantasy implications about Jalen Royals playing. I said, buddy, if you're leaning on Jalen Royals to have some fantasy production for you, your team is fucked. You are screwed. Yeah.
Here comes Tyquan Thornton's 28-point week 1, and then never to be heard from again.
Right. Yes.
2 touchdowns, 100 yards. It's unbelievable.
I want to ask you this question. BJ Kissel asked me this question a little bit ago, actually, when I was on the phone with him, and I think it's an interesting question to bring up to you. Who do you think leads the Chiefs in receptions on Friday? Week 1, yes.
Kelsey.
I said the exact same thing.
Because they will sit there and say, he's fresh, he's good to go, and I think that old habits die hard. I'm not saying this one needs to die, but it's old habits die hard. Like, I think Worthy will lead him in yardage, but I can see Worthy having a game where it's like 5 catches for like 90 yards and a touchdown, where Kelsey has like 8 catches for 75 yards and a touchdown, something like that. Like, look, if in doubt, the ball is going to Travis Kelsey. Just this, he has forever with this team, and and by the way, also he has annihilated the Chargers.
Yeah,
he has just absolutely taken that team apart at the joints now for about a decade running. So, I would say Kelsey. I mean, I would imagine that this receiving game is going to go through Kelsey and Worthy for the first 6 weeks of the season.
Yeah,
and you're going to mix Brown in there and Thornton in there and Juju in there and and so on and so forth. But Royals when he's healthy. But listen, I mean. This is not a great Chargers secondary.
No.
They're good at safety. Derwin James is amazing, and Elodie Gilman's underrated. They are not good at corner. Look, to put it kindly, this is a very mediocre group of corners here that they're trucking out. I mean, Tarheeb's in there. Hart, who I actually like coming out and everything, he's in there. Dante Jackson is in there. I mean, this is not a team that, and even a linebacker, we want to talk about Kelsey, unless they're going to cover with James, because Gilman's not really a one-on-one. Like, he's not going to cover Kelsey. Like, unless they're going to cover with James, it's a whole lot of like Hensley and like just zone match type stuff. Like, to me, if I'm the Chargers in this game, I'm playing a zillion snaps in too high and just making them go down the field in 12-play increments. Like, that would be my entire strategy for this game. The problem with that is and this is where this is all going to come to a head here. If the Chiefs can block the Chargers defense is fucked. There's not like they don't have the cover men to do it. It's one thing if you're Philly and you've got Mitchell and DeJean and you've got different guys who can do. If you're Baltimore secondary, fine. If the Chargers can't get home and it's Cam Hart on Xavier Worthy all night long, it's a problem. And even if they sit in zone, if they sit in zone all night and he's got 3 seconds to throw the football, it's over. That to me is the entire game. If the Chargers can't get home in this game, they could pack it up and go home. They've got to get home on him. They're not going to hold up in the back end for 3-4 seconds.
Well, that's one thing that I wanted to talk about too. Is that this is the first test that Josh Simmons is going to get to see for a whole extended game time. Like, he's only had, a couple drives in his NFL career so far, all preseason drives. He's going to be going up against a Deshaun Hand and Tier Tart, maybe if he gets out there. Ugbanana. How do you say that guy's name? Ugbanana?
I actually interviewed him in the pre-draft process. Ogbani, I believe it is.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Either way, it is not exactly Deacon Jones and Reggie White coming off the edge here in this game. I mean, the big thing is going to be how do they use Khalil Mack?
Right.
And do they try to get him one-on-one with the rookie? I'd imagine they do. And listen, say whatever you want about Khalil Mack. He's going to go to the Hall of Fame.
Right,
like, if he goes against Simmons in 60 different snaps, he's going to get got sometimes. Like the Chiefs have to be prepared for that. But then the other side of the coin is if he's going against Simmons, I don't care who's going against Juwan Taylor. Juwan Taylor better win that matchup.
Yeah.
Like, there is no prime Joey Bosa on the other side of the field here. Like, this is not a great group. It's Tua Tagovailoa is a good player. But again, this is not a dynamic. This is not the Giants pass rush that they're going to see week 3. This is not the Eagles pass rush they're going to see week 2. Like, this is a defense with the Chargers that, to their credit, they led the league in points allowed in a good way last year. But like, also, if you look at a lot of the underlying numbers, like, it was not overwhelming. The Chiefs are going to have opportunities in this game. Again, if they block in this game, they're going to have opportunities to score a lot of points. Yeah. They don't match up the Chiefs. They can't guard them. If Rice was in this game, I don't know what the Chargers would do from a secondary standpoint. But I really think if you're Kansas City, you're looking at this game going, all right, look, if we can protect for 2.5 to 3 seconds, it's going to be open season. I mean, they're going to have guys open, in a way that last year they didn't. Because last year, if you remember, that was the game, the first game they played, that was the game Rice got hurt in.
Right, yep.
And so that game went to hell in a handbasket immediately. Like, Pacheco was hurt. It was Hunt's first game. Carson Steele was the lead running back. He fumbled. It was like, and they still won.
Right.
Okay. And then in LA. And then the second game was that Sunday night game. I was actually up here at the lake house for that game. What a freaking catastrophe that game was. The Chiefs won that game on a field goal that doinked in from Spencer Schrader.
Yeah, remember that trivia question right there.
Oh, that game was awful. But they did find a way to win, to their credit. But that was a night where, if you remember, that was a game DJ Humphries played, and then he got hurt.
Yeah.
Oh God, dude, that game was unwatchable. That game was so bad. But the Chiefs had 98 yards of penalties that night. It was unbelievable. It was like they were actively trying to lose and then won anyway. So
I think that's just like the story of the Chiefs season last year. It's like it always seemed like they were actively trying to lose, but they still won.
The Chiefs were in like a one-man hostage situation. Like the Chiefs were like holding themselves at gunpoint in the bank.
Right.
Like, oh, we'll do it. We'll do it. Like, like negotiating with themselves, like to see if they can get out of there in time before it was, that game was rancid beyond the words. Mahomes was sacked 3 times in that game. He was hit 13 times in that game.
Oh.
And the Chargers still lost.
Yep.
Like, which is all you need to know. But look, I mean, yeah, I'll throw it at you. Like, where do you see the game differently? Do you see it, or is there something you're looking at that you're like, actually that's what I'm focused on?
No, the more I look, I'm kind of confused of why the line is as close as it is. And maybe it's because we are so close to like the Chiefs, and like I don't understand. I get like the travel aspect of it, but I feel like the Chiefs are just like the much better team on paper. Like if you look at this just matchup straight up on paper, I don't know how you see. I think the only concerning thing could be the Chiefs defense, right? Of how they their defensive line shakes up and gets after them. But like as we mentioned, they got injuries on they're without their starting right tackle. Rashawn Slater is out. Like how they're, I'm sure they're going to try to cook something up with Chris Jones out there. If you don't think Chris Jones is going to line up against a guy who is not usually out there, you're sorely mistaken. Trent McDuffie, now Christian Fulton's finally healthy. He got a lot of snaps in that third preseason game. How do they use Trent McDuffie? How are they going to use him around? The safety room was a little bit of a concern, I think, for a large population of the Chiefs fan base. And I'm curious to see how they negate some of those negatives that they've had in that safety room and some of the bad things that we've seen. So I think that if there's one thing that gives me pause, it is the Chiefs defense. But I think that I don't think that the Chargers offense is good enough to take advantage of it, if that makes sense. I know Lad McConkey is very good, but like, who else are they going to throw it to? Like, that's the thing that I keep going back to.
That's kind of the thing about this game, though. And this is why, Lad McConkey last year was terrific. He had 1,140.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
He led the team. Okay, he had 82 receptions. But if you look at him last year, like just game by game, I think sometimes when we talk about like really good players, and this isn't just Lad McConkey, this is true for almost everybody. You're like, oh my God, that guy, he's guaranteed for like 10 and 100. It's like, do you know how many times Lad McConkey had 100 receiving yards in a regular season game last year?
I don't know.
3.
Wow.
So here's the thing. If you're the Chiefs and he has like 90 yards, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like, you're not losing the game because Lad McConkey has 8 catches for like 85 yards.
Right.
You just don't care. Like, they don't have Joshua Palmer, who was always a pain in the Chiefs' rear end.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, was it? Quentin Johnson, I think he's going to play, but he had a nasty concussion during the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not taking any shot at him or anything, but he struggled to this point in his career 2 years in. A lot of drops, inconsistency, stuff like that. Now, Keenan Allen is back. We'll see what they get out of Keenan Allen. But, McConkey and Allen both kind of play in the slot. So it makes it a little redundant. Like, it's going to be hard. Both of those guys are out there. Here's the problem I have with the Chargers offense, just from a basic standpoint. They have no speed outside. Yeah. So you can't. There's nobody threatening this team. I actually, all kidding aside, when MVS got cut, I was like, I wonder if the Chargers are going to sign him for no other reason, just to run down the field.
Yeah.
Like literally just to run like 8 and 9 routes the entire game and just try to like open some stuff up underneath, because they don't have a tight end that scares you. They don't have an outside receiver that scares you. Like, it's Quentin Johnson and it's maybe Trey Harris, their rookie, and it's just it's a lot of like, man, if I'm the Chiefs, I get into a ton of man in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and beat me, dude. I don't care. I'm dropping a safety in the middle of the field. I'm going cover 1, cover 3, just single high looks. I'm putting McDuffie on McConkey in this game and just saying, beat me. Do it.
Yeah.
Because, the big weakness for the Chiefs over the years have been like throwing to the backs and throwing to the tight ends. That's always kind of been the way to get to them. They don't have I don't know if Najee Harris is going to be able to play or not.
Right.
And Najee Harris is not the kind of back that typically beats them. Like, he's not.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a guy. I mean, look, to this point, don't get me wrong. He can catch the football. Okay. In his rookie year, he caught 74 passes. But like, since then, it was like 41, 29, 36. Now maybe Hampton is kind of the X factor here. But like, the bottom line that I'm getting to is, if you can, what the Chargers want to do in this game. They want to run the football.
Mm-hmm.
If you can stop them from running on early downs and you put McDuffie on McConkey, I just think that's kind of it. Like, they don't really have, like, Herbert's mobile in the pocket, but he's not mobile like he's going to run for a ton of yards typically.
For sure.
They don't have, like, I don't care. Will Disley has 3 catches for 30 yards. I don't care. Like, I don't care if Keenan Allen has 4 catches for 40. Like, that's not going to beat you.
Mm-hmm.
So I just look at this game. I'll tell you one other thing I'm very curious about in this game with the Chargers, and really for the season. What do they do in the red zone? Who the hell's big?
Yeah.
Like, that is one thing. Like, McConkey, for all of his talent, he's not a big guy.
No, he's not.
Like, he's not a big. He had 7 touchdowns last year to his credit, but like, I just think if you're the Chiefs, my entire game plan is on first and second. You're not running football. Whatever it takes. I'm putting a safety down there. I'm gonna be super aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can beat me over the top with Quentin Johnson, great. You did it. Congratulations. Do it. Go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
I need to see you do it to make me have any fear of it.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that they're going to try to do, obviously, with the Jim Harbaugh coach team. They're going to try to run the football. That's what they want to do. I'm interested to see how Amari Hampton is. I did like him coming out, and that could be one of the guys that I thought was going to be pretty nice. Obviously, going to go higher than what the Chiefs were going to pick a running back at, but was one of the guys I thought could be fun in the Chiefs offense. All right, Matt, let's take a break. Unless you got something else.
Well, really quick, I was going to say, by the way, just
to
make a detailed note. Quentin Johnson last year, you know how many plays he had over 35 yards?
No, I don't.
2. If I'm the Chiefs, go ahead, man.
Wow.
Beat me. Go ahead. Fine. Go ahead. Run your 9 route. Beat me.
Yeah. No, well, so we'll see how that all shakes out. Obviously, that's the second game of the NFL schedule. The Eagles and the Cowboys will be playing on Thursday night. Matt and I will talk about that game a little bit and just kind of some storylines surrounding both those teams coming up right after this. Chiefs.
Shop Chiefs tickets and more with no fees. Plus, save big with code KCSN at ticketsforless.com, the official ticket provider of KC Sports Network.
What's up, guys? I'm BJ Kissel, founder and CEO of KC Sports Network, and I'm here to talk to Kansas City businesses. If you rely on technology, you need an IT support team that's not just another vendor, but a true IT partner. That's how I want to introduce you to my friend and neighbor, KJ Miller. He is a VCIO at ThrottleNet, the Midwest's highest rated and most reviewed IT support company. They've been in business for more than 25 years, helping companies stay secure, productive, and ahead of the curve. They aren't just IT support, but they provide data security, IT strategy, and cloud software services. They do it all, and their reviews show they do it better than anyone else. So if you want to hear about how ThrottleNet can help your local business, join the conversation with myself, KJ Miller from ThrottleNet, and our resident genius from KC Sports Network when it comes to IT, at least as he's affectionately known by us, Mr. Craig Stout. Click the link in the description to hear how ThrottleNet can help you.
Matt, this is one of my favorite stories that came out around the Micah Parsons trade. Reading this from NFL.com. This is the headline. Quote, Brian Schottenheimer believes Cowboys can still compete for a Super Bowl after trading Micah Parsons.
I mean, I'm going to be really fair to Brian Schottenheimer. What the fuck is he supposed to say?
That's a great point.
You know, like, I mean, I got to be honest. I'll tell you the truth. To me, we've always talked about winners and losers, right? Like, we always talk about this. And yet, I would sit here and tell you the biggest loser is Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah.
He's the biggest loser there is. Because, like, Jerry Jones doesn't give a fuck. Jerry Jones is going to own this team for as long as he wants to, pass it along to his son and daughter. And Stephen and Charlotte. He doesn't care. Like, he doesn't give a shit if they win or lose. Like, he's more than shown that at this point. Yes. We've all become very well aware of that. I mean, it's just Brian Schottenheimer was a surprise hire to some extent to begin with.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
And now it's like, man, this guy's screwed. That team sucks. But here's the thing about it: you're in Dallas. Nobody cares. Like, it's all about like results. Which, like, it's the NFL, to be fair. Like, fair enough. But this guy has no chance.
Yeah.
They're like the Bengals, but like the Walmart edition of them. You know, hey, like Dak and George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, like, go get them. You know, like, we have a better offensive line. Good luck with that. You know, I just look at the Cowboys and think that, you know, this game. So, let's move to this Thursday, right?
Yeah,
so they're at Philly with Parsons. That's a hell of a lift.
Right. Correct.
Right. It's banner night. It's an NFC rival, all that stuff. I got to tell you, forget the impact schematically that it has, which is massive. If you're in the Cowboys locker room right now, you're sitting there going, well, they just punted on the fucking season.
Yep.
I mean, if you're in that room, can you imagine? That's like if the Chiefs traded Chris Jones and just said, yeah, I don't know, man. Good luck. You know, we don't, you know, that's how we feel about you guys.
Right.
Like, the Chiefs are still probably a 12-win team, and you'd be like, man, they really don't believe in them. Like, what the hell? Like, what's going on, right? Like, or you can look at the other way and go, they're you know, ownership's not as committed to winning as we are. So why the hell should I commit to ownership? And to me, that is where you're at with this. Like, if you're CeeDee Lamb in that building, you're going, screw this, man.
Yeah.
Like, what? I'll tell you right now, you're going to have some guys on the team internally who are sitting there going, that dude's not going to pay Micah after what he did for this team. He's homegrown.
Right. Yes.
They're not going to pay him. You think they're paying me?
Right.
So if I got a hamstring, I'm out for a month. I'm not coming back in 2 weeks. Like, to do what? To get hurt so this guy doesn't pay me?
Right.
I mean, that, you want to talk about a morale killer. That team, in my opinion, and if they're not, I give them all the credit in the world for this, they're going to be flatter than hell going into that game. I mean, that is one of those things like you're walking in there. That's a tough spot to begin with. And now you're going in there without your best player. I would not be surprised if they get absolutely like 38-7, something like that, some ridiculous score. I mean, I would not be shocked they could totally steamroll.
7.5 points right now is our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook have the Eagles at, and I would hammer the 7.5. Like, it feels like one of those games that is, it could get out of hand pretty quick. Because the Eagles, they're a pretty good football team. I don't know if you guys have heard that. Pretty good football team that the Philadelphia Eagles have. They got themselves a pretty talented roster. And, man, the Walmart Bengals is such a good comp, I think, for the Cowboys of what they are, because their defense sucks. They have good offensive players, but not as good as, like, the Bengals do.
They have good offensive players, but they're also, like, if you shut down CeeDee Lamb, like.
Yeah.
So,
good thing they paid Jake Ferguson, though.
Huge. I look forward to George Pickens having like 950 yards this year and like 5 touchdowns. And then Jerry giving him $35 million a year. Because Jerry's just like, see, I'll pay people. And then Pickens just immediately being an absolute head case for like the next 3 years.
Right. Yeah.
That'll be fun. Great. Look, I got to tell you, I mean, hell, we talk about everything here, but from a Chiefs perspective, that game on Thanksgiving got a hell of a lot easier.
Thank goodness.
Not to see him on Jawan Taylor in that game. Like, that the Cowboys, to me, the Cowboys are just not a serious franchise.
No, they're not.
And honestly, man, if they were anybody but the Dallas Cowboys, like, quite honestly, if you look at this team and their rate of success over the last, not even like 30 years, the last like 15 years.
Yeah.
It's nothing to write home about. It's not like you're looking at that going, man, they've had some awesome years and they've just fallen short. I mean, the Cowboys, since let's just use a line of demarcation here. Let's go to 2010.
Okay.
Here's their records since 2010. 6-10, 8-8, 8-8, 8-8, 12-4, lost in the divisional round. 4-12, 13-3, lost their first playoff game. 9-7, 10-6, lost in the divisional round. 8-8, 6-10, 12-5, and lost in the wild card round. 12-5, and lost in the divisional round. 12-5, and lost in the wild card round. 7-10. Wow. I mean, even in years they've been good, they've done nothing in the playoffs. They've maybe won a game. And it's like, yeah, I got to tell you, you're basically like the Falcons.
Oh, yeah.
Like, honestly, like you're basically the Falcons, or we talk all the time about how much some of these different franchises around the league suck. Okay. Yeah, you're not the Raiders. You're not the Browns. Fine. Like, you're kind of like the Saints. Like, you're just whatever. Like, yeah, all right, you're there. You're decent enough. But, like, I can't remember the last time they were in the playoffs, and I really thought, like, this team could win the Super Bowl. Or at least get to it. It was probably the 2007 team, the year they lost in the divisional round, their first playoff game to the Giants, and that Giants team went on to beat the Patriots.
Yeah.
That was probably it. They didn't win a game. They didn't win one playoff game. Like, I just think at some point, like, you look at them, like, the only reason that any of this is talked about, I mean, the Parsons thing is a great player, or is a great player, but
right, yeah.
But in general, the only reason that team was talked about is because of the Dallas Cowboys. If they were anybody else, they could be the Colts.
Right.
You'd be like, oh, yeah, right. They suck again. Yep. Okay, next topic. But because they have a star in their helmet, like, everybody gives a shit that they apparently matter for whatever reason.
They've only won 3 playoff games since 2010.
They suck. Yeah. And like,
6.
a lot of those games have just been like, they've all been wild card games they've won.
Yep.
And they're all against, like, the one I was, when I was going, I didn't even look at who they beat. But like, the one year I remember they beat, like, the Russell Wilson Seahawks, who was just an abomination offensively. By the way, I believe Brian Schottenheimer was the offensive coordinator of that Seahawks team.
24-22 in that game.
I think it was awful. They beat them. Didn't they beat Andy Reid? Didn't they beat? No, that was earlier on. That was, I believe, unless.
They beat the 09 Andy Reid Eagles 34-14. Yeah, in 09 they did. Then they went on to lose 34-3 to the Vikings. Was that?
I remember that game. Just got hammered at the Metrodome. Yeah.
Was that the Brett Favre Vikings?
Yes.
Yeah, awesome.
Absolutely crushed by him. they're just not good. Like they're not a relevant team. They're not. And I'll tell you right now, trading Parsons. By the way, anybody out there who's like wants to zag with this, well, they got 2 first-round picks. Great. Well, you're going to spend one of them trying to get somebody who's half as good as Micah Parsons.
Mm-hmm.
So really, you got 1 first-round pick and a 30-year-old defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the 2 first-round picks. It's great.
What would it have taken for you to be like, okay, I think that they actually got a decent return for Jerry or for Micah? Would it have been at
Jerry,
least
anything?
The sweet release of death would actually be a great return.
We'll take that, please.
Yeah,
where it's so much pain. Every fan, everybody would have signed up for.
Oh my god!
I won't even say what I was going to say. The sweet release of death. Let's call it that.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, man, to me, they would have had forget Kenny Clark. Like,
yeah, Kenny Clark does not add anything.
I can't believe Kenny Clark's involved in this deal. Like it should have at least been like 2 firsts and 2 seconds, or
well, they should have actually traded they should have got like a good player in return, like a Luke Van Ness or somebody who's like a little bit like younger.
If you want to go with a player, then I would have been like, all right, give me 2 firsts, a second, and like Adrian Cooper.
Yeah.
Like I want that dude who's really fucking good, like might be an all-pro. Like, give me that guy. I don't want Kenny Clark, who's like if like Kenny Clark was a car, he'd be 340,000 miles in, and like the alternator's starting to really make some waves.
Kenny Clark might not play next year.
We've been so great if he's retired.
He's like, you know what? Actually, I'm out of here.
I've thought about this, and I've been good with my money, and good night. Yeah. No, I honestly, man, like 2 firsts and 2 seconds. I mean,
yeah.
Didn't like that's what the Raiders got for John Gruden.
I forgot about that Gruden trade. Hang on.
I mean, well, think about what did the Saints get for Sean Payton with Denver?
Yeah, it was something stupid like that. So the John Gruden trade was 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and $8 million.
Yeah, like.
And Micah Parsons just got less than that.
Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't understand what we're doing here. Like, to me, I wouldn't even answer the phone if you don't call me with 2 firsts and 2 seconds. You want to offer me that? That's a lot. That I think becomes a reasonable, like, okay, maybe. But anyway, look, the bottom line here is with Dallas, I just think they're I think their goose is cooked, man. I think the team is like, forget even the talent level. I think that team is going to absolutely suck because you've basically told the entire team, hey guys, we don't care.
Mm-hmm.
We have punted on the season. Good luck to you. And you've told them that before week 1. Like, guys understand that if they're 2-6 at the deadline.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you haven't started the season yet. That's as bad as it gets. So is there a game on Sunday? Like the Bills-Ravens game is really good.
Yeah.
We can get into that here briefly, but like, is there a game on Sunday you're looking forward to that's not being talked about that much that you're like, I really look forward to watching this game?
I do enjoy that there's so many divisional games. I feel like in years past there hasn't been a ton of divisional games in week 1, especially like when the Chiefs opened up the season last year against like the Ravens, right? That kind of messes with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But like having like these teams like the Chiefs and the Eagles start with divisional teams, that like kind of makes it pretty easy for all the other ones to be divisional games as well.
Yeah.
Packers and Lions gets a lot more interesting, I think, after that trade.
Yeah, Jared Goff's like, that's great, Jared. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, the Lions have so many injuries. Just a ridiculous amount of injuries. The Packers
are favored in that game.
Yeah, by 2.5. I think we should talk about we've talked about the trade from the Packer or from the Cowboys point of view a lot, but like from the Packers point of view, does this do anything to you for the Packers? Because for me, like, I think the Packers were a good football team. They still have Jordan Love as their quarterback, and I don't trust Jordan Love to string together 3-4 super good games in a row to become Super Bowl champions. Right. Is that kind of where I sit with it? But I still think that they're kind of an interesting team in the mix of the NFC.
Yeah, I mean, I knew immediately when I saw the trade. I was like, oh, here it comes. Here comes the ESPN 8 o'clock get up take. Where we're just going to get, like, if they don't win the Super Bowl this year, I'm throwing myself off of the Verrazano Bridge. Like, okay, thanks, great. Well, how about speeding that up? I can't wait for that take,
Right.
And then because that just sets up for if they lose, we went to the Lions. It's like, what happened? How could this happen?
Right.
They're playing a team with 15-2. That's how it happened.
Yeah.
Look, I didn't even have the Packers in the playoffs. I thought the Packers were like a borderline playoff team. Now I think they're definitely a playoff team. But I'm with you. Like, all these people now who are just, they got to win the Super Bowl. Do I think they're contenders with him? Yes, because he is the kind of player that is very rare on the defensive side of the ball that can transform a game.
Right.
He can just flat take over again, where it's like he had four sacks and 2 forced fumbles, and like he just destroyed. Kind of like that year the Broncos won the Super Bowl with Von Miller. Where Von Miller basically was just like, I'm going to win the Super Bowl now, and just destroyed everybody he played for a month.
Yeah.
I mean, every once in a while, you do get a defensive player like that is just so dominant that you're like, there's nothing to fucking do with this guy. There's nothing you're doing about it. So I do think they become much more intriguing. Do I think they're better than Philly? No. Do I think they're better than the Rams if Stafford's healthy? No. Do I think they're even better than Detroit? No. Like, I don't. I'll tell you the truth. Now, I am like on an island with this. I'm super high on the Vikings. Like, I still think the Vikings are really good. So, that being said, though, I do think it makes the Packers a much more dangerous team.
Yeah.
And I think it makes them a playoff team. Whereas before, I would have been like, maybe they are, maybe they're not. I don't know. Like, they're on the bubble. But now I feel like they're firm. Like, yeah, they should be a playoff team.
I don't think it makes them their division frontrunner though either, because I'm with you. Like I think the Vikings are in that conversation. I think the Lions are in that conversation. Like, they trade Micah, and if they finish third after trading for Micah, that's probably not going to sit well. I mean, I can't imagine.
I mean, it adds pressure to the floor.
Oh yeah.
At Jordan Love, because it's like, hey, buddy, if Micah is out here having 16 and a half sacks and we win 11 games and finish third, we got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I think it's really interesting. I will say I was looking this up because I wrote a column about it for SI. Like, the Packers were 31st in blitz rate last year.
Oh, interesting.
They don't blitz, so this ought to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should.
It's like, hey, guess what? Our pressure rate was 16th and our blitz rate was 31st. Well, our pressure rate's about to be 5th and our blitz rate's about to be 32nd because we don't. By the way, the only team that blitzed less, Jacksonville.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, Jacksonville looked at that team and was like, we don't need to blitz. It's fine. It's good. Maybe they looked at the secondary and they're like, we cannot afford the blitz.
Yes. Jacksonville last year was like the team that I knew was playing, but I never purposely caught a Jacksonville game, if that makes sense. Like, last year I was just like, oh yeah, I guess they are kind of doing stuff down there. And like, Trevor Lawrence missed a few games for him last year. It was just like, they just completely escaped my thoughts at all. The Jacksonville Jaguars did. And actually, you know what I just thought of, Matt? We could probably we're putting teams down this year. I assume we could probably go ahead and put the Cowboys down. I don't even know if I've got the taps queued up, but I do have the taps queued up. If you're feeling frisky and want to put them down before our second break.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, here we go. Let's play the taps.
Why the Cowboys? Jerry gave him the old Yeller treatment 1 week before the season even started. Hopes of grandeur, hopes of playoffs. On when Jerry dragged out the hopes and the dreams of a team and a nation and just put the family dog down for no reason at all. This, by the way, this isn't just taps for this year. This is taps until Jerry got up.
I think it's fair. I think that's fair. Yeah.
This is like a 5-year burial.
Uh-huh.
So, I feel like this isn't just burying the Cowboys. This is burying every fan out there who just took their Micah jersey and just hung it up solemnly in the closet, doing a single tear. It applies for everybody except for Skip Bayless, by the way. It's just awful.
The Cowboys are dead. Put them on our list.
The Browns are the Saints, but here we are.
Yeah, we could have. No, we'll wait for week 1 to get in the books before we really bury those
by
guys.
the way, and I know we'll go to break and finish. I'll give you the game I'm really interested in, and this is a game nobody else is going to pick. That Cleveland-Cincinnati game.
I'm
Because I'm going to tell you something right now. We're all sitting here at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and Cleveland's got 20 points at halftime. There's going to be a lot of thoughts coming out of Ohio. I'll tell you right now. If it's and look, I'm not saying the Browns will win. The Browns, however, have given them a brutal time.
They have.
The Browns just seem to own them for whatever reason. And you could just see that being one of those games. Like, the Browns are one of the weird teams. Normally, I have a mantra. I'd rather see bad teams late and good teams early. Because good teams early, they're trying stuff out. They're figuring, there's not a lot of urgency yet. Like, I actually think as much as the Chiefs schedule is hard, like, I'd rather the Chiefs schedule lay out the way it does.
Yeah.
Give me all the hard teams early.
Mm-hmm.
I'll play the freaking Cowboys in week 13 when they've completely given up.
Yeah.
The Browns are the one team I feel like the opposite of that with. Because they'll be playing rookie quarterbacks later in the year. They're playing Flacco right now. Like, and it's one of those things too, like, actually, I guess it applies both ways. I've actually gone against myself. Like, I would always rather play a bad team late because at that point they know they're bad.
Mm-hmm.
And they've given up. The Browns week 1, like, even though the world thinks they're bad, they're not going to think they're bad.
Right.
And you're getting like Flacco going out there with Njoku and Judy. And I'm telling you right now, that game's at 5.5. I'm taking Cleveland to cover that game. You watch. That game is going to be like 28-24 at the 2-minute warning.
Yeah.
And I don't know that Cleveland will win that game. That is absolutely the game this week where we're going to be, oh my God, are they going to lose to this team? Also, by the way, Cincinnati is atrocious to start every single season they play.
Yes.
So, do I think the Bengals will win the game? Yes. I could see that being just an all-you-can-eat shootout for 3 hours where they just can't stop Cleveland. And then it's like a whole week of like, is Cleveland frisky? And then Cleveland gets beat by 57 points in week 2 at Baltimore. Okay, but for 1 week, you watch. That is going to be the game where you're like, man, are the Bengals going to lose this game? That's the game. That is 1,000% the game. We're all going to be sitting here going, oh my God, looking at the bottom line is like, you see like Joe Flacco's like 25 or 32 for 380. Yeah. What's happening? Yeah, that'll be the game.
The only other one that I'm circling is the Niners Seahawks, just because I want to see how which wide receivers the Niners are running out there.
I got to tell you, you couldn't pay me to watch that game because when they tried out MVS and Sky Moore, I'm turning off the TV.
Yeah, I've tried too many times to get away from that combo.
Yeah, I've seen enough. Okay. Sorry. And it's like too close to home. Like, it's like they still have the red, and like then there's like also like the two letters interlocking on the
interlocking. Yeah. Oof.
Oh my God. Like, although there would be nothing funnier than if Sky Moore goes off like a $150. I would
game winning touchdown. Yeah.
I really would be. I think the Rams Houston game is a really interesting game.
Oh yeah.
That's a really interesting game. Like, I think I like the Rams. I think they'll win the game, but I am very interested in that game because that is, tell you what, you get a lot of pass rush in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Good quarterbacks, good coaches. You got McVay against Ryans, offensive and defensive. Like, I think the difference in that game is that the Texans have you and me blocking.
Correct.
That could be an issue in this game. That may present itself as a problem as Jared Verse is
pretty good.
coming untouched for the 80th time off the listen, now to be fair, they fired Bobby Slough, the offensive coordinator from last year.
Probably good.
I was sitting up in the press box watching the playoff game last year. It's Chiefs and Texans with James Palmer. And oh God, who else was I with? I was with him. I don't want to get this wrong. I think I was up there with both he and Jeffrey Chidia, I believe. Jeffrey and I sit together all the time, just the way they put us. A lot of times me, him, Jared Bell. But anyway, I remember saying to Palmer at one point, I was like, how many times are they going to block George Karlaftis with Dalton Schultz? How many times are they going to intentionally do that in this game? It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, if anybody wants to go back, have a good laugh, go watch that game and how many times they purposefully tried to set up Dalton Schultz on George Karlaftis. And Solo figured it out in the second half. He's like, wait a minute, is is this their blocking scheme? And just relentlessly went at it and said,
Yeah.
I mean, CJ Stroud got hit what felt like 58 times in that game. I don't feel great about him facing a Rams front that, listen, the secondary is not good, but they can beat the absolute daylights out of you. I don't feel great about that for CJ Stroud.
No, I don't either. But what I do feel great for is taking another break. We got to take a break, but first, calling all Chiefs fans. You could be on the field at the 50 inside GEHA field for the official coin toss at the Chiefs home game this season. Visit Chiefs.com/GEHA now. Enter to win a chance to be on the field for a once-in-a-lifetime view of the pre-game coin toss. Plus, you can score other exclusive prizes. Enter for a chance to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Chiefs.
What's good, everybody? It is Benny Heiss, KCSN betting analyst, and I just want to let you all know that it's okay. You can take a slow, deep breath. Inhale and breathe out with one word: football. You feeling it? Yeah? Did you take that in? That sweet, sweet scent of grass and pigskin in? I'm ready. I hope you're ready too, because we're going to have an absolutely awesome season once again together. And especially for all of you in the state of Missouri, get your popcorn, get your phones ready, because the wait is almost over. You can taste it. It's coming, people. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming. You say, show me. I say state. Later this football season, everything that you love about playing on DraftKings Sportsbook, sides, totals, spreads, props, same-game parlays, you name it, DraftKings Sportsbook is going to elevate your already great game day experience here with KCSN. And even if you don't get in by kickoff, no sweat, besides the promos on DraftKings that they offer as well, there's live in-game betting, payouts, faster than Xavier Worthy hauling down a bomb from 15 on the sidelines, all right from the comfort of your phone, wherever, whenever. You'll be betting with a top-rated sportsbook that is safe, secure, and trusted by millions of Americans across the country. Now, here's what you do. Follow your guy. You download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Be sure to use code KCSN as you get ready for sports betting to launch here in the state of Missouri. You're going to be the first in line for exclusive promos, can't miss offers, much, much more. It's code KCSN. That is KCSN in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Subject to regulatory licensing requirements.
I'm Brett Goodwin, one of the owners of The Learning Tree. The Learning Tree is a neighborhood toy store in Prairie Village, Kansas. This has been here in this location since 2000s, and my husband Alan and I purchased the store in 2023. Alan and I grew up in families where we've always wanted to have a business together. Alan grew up, for instance, his parents had a jewelry store. I worked in a local toy store here in Prairie Village when I was growing up. When this opportunity happened in 2023, we knew right away we wanted to contact them and pursue the store. We wouldn't have been able to get the store without the team at Emprise Bank. From the day we contacted them, they knew what we needed to do, which was very helpful. I would absolutely recommend the team at Emprise Bank to anyone looking to secure a business. We worked with Emprise from day one. They were extremely helpful. They were always great resources. We talk to them frequently. They know the area. They're very friendly. We know who we're going to talk with, and they know what we need to do. We hope we'll see you at the Learning Tree.
Matt, I don't know if you saw this. It's here at That Football Show. This is football adjacent. Well, it is football. Lee Corso, his final game day, nothing but net. 6 picks on his picks. Still has his fastball. Perfect way to go out. Is it rigged?
Probably.
Yeah.
I'd
sort of say we're all thinking. Yeah. Shout out Lee.
Good job Florida State beat Alabama, which is just an outrageous. Good for Lee Corso, sticking with his guns. He's an FSU guy.
He was the only one to pick him too.
Well, I mean, FSU went 2-10 last year.
Correct. Yes.
And then went out and got a. I love, by the way, how this whole thing now has been made out they got this transfer quarterback from Boston College. That typically is not a sentence that said that then saves your season. Okay?
Yeah, right.
The guy goes out and just torches Bama. Okay, I was watching that game I'm like, yeah, all right. At some point here, Alabama's about to hang like 50 straight points on them.
Right, yeah.
Then at the early part of the third quarter, like, no, they're not. Like, they're just going to lose. Like, they're not going to push back at all. You know it's bad when you start seeing tweets come out of like SEC country where like, the board, he's got $80 million if it's a buyout. And you're like,
yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, it's as bad as it gets. And the fact that Gus Malzahn, who's at Florida State, okay, and is creating this offensive havoc, who, of course, was a former, correct me if I'm wrong, coach at Auburn.
Yes, he's Auburn's head coach, yeah.
Pretty sure it wasn't. No, Chiswick was the one who won the national title with Newton, right?
I think so, yeah. They are both like, they're so similar in my head, and they like mesh together.
I always like Gus Malzahn being the one who lit Alabama on fire in that game. Sure, it's going off a while in Tuscaloosa. One of the greatest videos I've ever seen in my life, years, probably a decade ago. Some guy getting arrested for some stupid. I think it was a stupid thing. I shouldn't say that, just in case I'm wrong. But like, I thought it was like some minor thing, and some like. He looked like like a country guy, and some like reporter stuck a camera and a microphone in his face, and she was like, "Do you have anything to say?" And he was like, "Hell yeah, I got something to say. Roll damn Tide." And he's getting put in the cop car. It's one of the greatest things. Like, this guy is just committed like nobody's business, and should be committed.
Right.
But like, it was unbelievable. Yeah, but it was like watching that game. I'm like, man, this is really bad. But then on top of this, like as if the game isn't bad enough, Gus Malzahn, who was the coach for 8 years at Auburn, won an SEC title. Okay, was on the staff by the way, as offensive coordinator under Chiswick, so won that national title as well. Like he's the one who's masterminding them just absolutely torching the crap out of the Ties system.
Yeah, it was a great game to watch and just kind of realize like quickly of like, oh, this isn't AJ McCarron back there. This isn't
no, it is not.
It's not. They don't have one of those white quarterbacks that aren't going to do anything in the NFL back there. They got a white quarterback that's not going to do anything in the NCAA back there. Is what they got. So maybe Ty Simpson can prove us wrong, but. And then also, Sunday night, you had a great game with Miami and Notre Dame. I'm glad that rivalry is back on the menu. That's always a good one. But
can we just stop with Notre Dame, please? Like, and this is coming from somebody who grew up in New York. I'm a quarter Irish. Like Notre Dame, the reason I bring all this up, like Notre Dame is kind of like Northeastern football in a lot of ways for college football because they have the NBC deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody gives a shit about Syracuse. Okay, like I remember, like if you watched college football growing up, it was like one of the national games where it was Notre Dame,
right?
And Notre Dame has gotten to a point. It's like, can they ever win a game that matters? Ever?
It's starting to look like no.
Oh my God! Every time they play in some game, you're like, oh, Notre Dame just smoked. It's immediately a beat. Like, all right, like it's like I'm not even sure that Miami's good. Like. Carson Beck's out there after the game.
Their defense is pretty strong. They got some defensive dudes I'd love to have on the Chiefs next year.
I do like their defense. I do. Like, I'm not a big Carson Beck guy. And Carson Beck after the game is like, I proved the doubters wrong. But did you? Really?
Yeah.
Like, you sure about that?
He's cheating on his girlfriend is why his last 8 months were hard. That guy was cheating on a Cavender twin. If you guys don't know that, Google the Cavender twins, and then you guys.
I'm willing to bet most people watching the show know who that is.
Yeah, that's probably true.
But yeah, it's tell you what, not a great week to be a highly touted college quarterback.
Ooh, Arch Manning, tough look for old Arch.
Do you ever watch the movie Moneyball?
Yes, good film.
Very good film. Okay. Mm-hmm. Growing up an A's fan, I was intimately familiar with all this stuff even before the movie came out. You know Chad Bradford, the pitcher who threw on their arm, on their hand, whatever you want, submarine?
Yeah.
He has a higher delivery off the ground than Arch Manning. Arch Manning throws the ball the same way Creed Humphrey hikes it. Like it has the same trajectory off the ground. Like, how is this guy throwing the ball? Like, what the hell's going on with this guy? Like, his arm slot is ridiculous. And I said this before the show, but I firmly believe this. The only reason that hasn't been corrected to this point is because he's a Manning.
Yeah.
And no coach is going to step up big. Hey, man, you got to fix that.
Right.
That is atrocious. To the point that, like, I'm not big on the whole, like, oh, your mechanics have to be perfect. I mean, hell, look at the Chiefs quarterback is. Okay, that guy came in doing stuff that people are like, what? And it worked out just fine. Phillip Rivers had a weird delivery. Worked out great. Dude, that delivery, he turns himself from 6'4" to 5'8". You get in the NFL, you throw the ball like that. You're getting 8 balls batted down the line. And he was awful.
No, he didn't look very good. I mean, really, Julian Satan didn't look very good in that game, but he looked better of the two, and he ended up making more plays than the two. But like that game was touted as like the best college football game to ever be played, and it was not good until like the last 2 minutes.
I mean, that was everything I was going to say too. Like, as bad as he was, he could have flipped that narrative. That third down throw he made to Wingo is one of the worst throws I've ever seen.
Yes,
buddy, that is like at that level of college football. I'm not saying it's to be funny. I'm serious. That's got to be 100 out of 100.
Yeah.
But that's a layup. That's Michael Jordan a layup line easy. Like, what are we doing here? And again, he dropped down and threw the ball like he's Chad Bradford and threw it like high and behind him. Man, that ball's got to be on him.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's not perfect, that's got to be on him to where he catches it and gets upfield for 5-10 yards. Like, yeah, anyway. Let's talk, before we get out of here, let's talk about 2 quarterbacks who have proven they can throw a football. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen.
That game's going to be
football.
And we'll probably spend a lot more time, too, on that one on Saturday, too, but, like, early thoughts away.
I mean, the game is a pick'em. We can talk more about it Saturday. That's right. I would just say this, like, that's one of those games, like, kind of like I said about the Chiefs Chargers. It's week 1.
Yeah.
That's a really important football game.
Huge.
If you lose that game, you're not only a game back, you're a breaker back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I know people would say, all right, come on, it's week 1. Listen, if you're Buffalo and you'll lose that game, that is a home loss to a team that you might very well be fighting for. The Bills have not had home field advantage since 1993, which, by the way, is the last time they went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Okay? Like, if you're Buffalo and you'll lose that game, I don't want to project too far out because then it does get silly. But, like, let's say you finish the season, because their schedule's not hard. Let's say they go 13-4. Well, I mean, if you're Baltimore, that means the rest of the year you got to go 12-4, which is 12, which is hard, but a hell of a lot easier than going 13-2 or 13-3. Right. Like, it just, you shrink what other teams can, like, you shrink the gap, essentially. You shrink the margin for error.
Right. Yeah.
And if you're Buffalo, like, that game's important to me if you're Baltimore, because Baltimore's a really hard schedule, and you're going to need to kind of steal some games. So it is very important for them. Don't get me wrong. If you're, like, I feel like with Buffalo, there's a certain level of, like, you're at home in that game.
Yeah.
You got to win. You got to win that game.
Yeah.
And if you look, I'm not going to say, oh my God, if they lose, then like if you lose, but Buffalo's still got an easy schedule. They'll still win plenty of games. They'll still roll in that division. But now your road to the 1 seed is a lot harder.
Yeah.
It's just like, look, everybody's going to talk about that Chiefs-Eagles game. That game. If the Chiefs beat the Chargers, I don't want to say like whatever, but kind of whatever.
Right.
The next big game they'll play is week 4 against Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the Chiefs and you split the 2 NFC games in the middle and you beat the Chargers and you beat the Ravens, you're thrilled to death.
Yeah.
Especially if you beat, if you beat the Eagles and lose to the Giants, you're probably furious. But like, if you win those 2 AFC games and beat the Giants and you're 3-1, you're golden. You're sitting there like, we get the head-to-head breaker on the Ravens. We already beat the Chargers on the road. We're 2-0 in the conference. You're sitting there if you're the Chiefs, and you're like, this is great.
Yeah.
And we're going to play Duval, awesome. If you're the Chiefs, that would be you would sign for that. I guarantee you would sign for that if you're a Chiefs player or a coach in a heartbeat.
I don't know why I haven't realized this, but for some reason in my head, I just kind of like thought that the Giants were going to start Jackson Dart. And then
they're not. No, they're going to start Russell Wilson.
That's great. Good for
I
them.
look forward to that on Sunday Night Football. And as a New Yorker, I can already tell you that's going to go. They're going to be 0-2 because they're playing. Well, maybe they're 1-1. They're at Washington to start the year, and then they're at Dallas, which all of a sudden, like maybe they beat Dallas week 2.
Yeah.
But like probably not. There's a very good chance they're 0-2, and Russell Wilson is getting booed every time he throws an incompletion because A, they just hate him, and B, because everybody in New York wants to see Jackson Dart play.
Right. He looks good.
I'm like, if you're the Chiefs, I'm gonna tell you guys something right now. The best case scenario for that Giants game is that they beat Dallas in week 2, because then Russ is the quarterback week 3,
right?
And it's like delaying the inevitable. That's what you want. Right. You don't want that to be Jackson Dart's first start. I'm not saying that because like Dart's going to be unbelievable. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. But like that's a huge shot in the arm for them.
Yeah.
You want that game to be Russell Wilson. Like you want Russell Wilson going out 18-30 for $150 and a pick. Okay, like that's what you want.
Right.
You want that. Well, you don't even have to guard in between the numbers because you just won't throw it there. Like it's all this. If you're the Chief, Spagnuolo is going to be sitting there praying the rosary that they beat the Cowboys in week 2, because then it's like, yeah, sure, well, Russ, let him cook. Like, great, awesome. If you're the Chiefs, you 1,000% want that.
That's funny. Yeah, and they have Jameis also thrown in there as well, is that they also have Jameis Winston as their backup quarterback, which he just needs to be like an all-time backup quarterback. Where just like if somebody needs like a quarterback, you just call up Jameis wherever he is. Like, Jameis, we need you for one game, because that's like Jameis Winston's max. Like Jameis Winston will play really, really good for one game, and he'll hit his ceiling for one game. You get multiple games for him. Sorry, but if you need one game, Jameis is your guy.
I got to admit, when the Chiefs played them last year, they played Cleveland, and he was a starter. There was a part of me that was like, this game could go in any direction.
He might go off, yeah.
Like, he might throw for 400 yards, or he might throw 6 interceptions. And as it turns out, it was the latter.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And then Dorian Thompson-Robinson got involved. It was just atrocious. And it was like, okay, it's the end of this game.
Yeah.
But, like, that's one of those, like, Jameis is the modern equivalent to Ryan Fitzpatrick. Where you get Ryan Fitzpatrick in a game, and it was like anything's possible in this game. Anything. Yeah. Like, he could be the worst quarter. Remember that game he played against the Chiefs when he was with the Jets at Arrowhead, and he actually did throw 6 picks? Like, that was like Derek Johnson had like a winding pick 6. It's running forever. Like, he could be as bad as imaginable, and then also have games where like the Bills gave him a $60 million contract, which nowadays would have been like $200 million.
People forget that happened.
Dude, people do forget. Oh, I'm not. It's like the old Pepperidge Farm commercial.
Pepperidge Farm members.
Yes, Pepperidge Farm. Don't forget. Okay, the Bills gave Brian Fitzpatrick the equivalent to today of like if you gave a quarterback 3 and a 150. Like, it was unbelievable. And it was based off of 3 games. The Bills were just like, thank God. I'm going to pull it up real quick, and that'll be a perfect way to wrap this show.
Yeah, this is Chiefs hiring Romeo Crennel after his interim stint.
Yes, it was like that level of chaos.
Yeah. So
Ryan Fitzpatrick, his career starts out 4 games with the Rams, does nothing, right? In 05. Then has like no stats in 06, goes to the Bengals, and does nothing in 07. Literally doesn't throw a pass. So like the 2 years he didn't throw a pass. Then he goes to Bengals. He's there for a year. He's the starter. He's not good.
Right.
And then goes to Buffalo. And here's the year. Here we go. Okay. So he's the starter in Buffalo for 2 years and does like nothing. Like, does absolutely nothing for 2 years. And then they come, by the way, the Chiefs play a part in this. Okay, he comes out against the Chiefs in week 1 in 2011, with, real quality Chiefs team that year.
Right, yes. Cream of the crop.
They go to Kansas City. That's the game Barry blew his knee out in.
Oh.
The Bills win 41-7. Fitzpatrick goes for 208 and 4 touchdowns. The next week they play the Raiders. They win 38-35. Okay. Throws for 264, 3 and a pick. 3 touchdowns and a pick. Then they play the Brady-led Pats at home, and they win.
Wow.
34-31. He throws for 369 in this game. So they're 3-0 to start the year. Now, at this point, the Bills are like, oh, my God, he's Jesus in cleats.
Right, yes.
Okay, so the Bills, in a moment of inspired brilliance, are like, we got to make sure we lock this guy up. They gave him a 6-year contract for $59 million, which sounds like nothing now, but back then was legitimate. That's like if they gave him like 6 and like 220. Okay, so they were like, oh my God, this is it. Like, we found our man. The Bills then proceeded to go like this the rest of the year. Loss, win, 5-2. Loss, win, loss.
Oh my God. And he was on the team for 6 more years.
No, he was signed for 6 more years. He was on the team for 1 more year. The following year, he won 6 games. And then he ended up on Tennessee, and then he was on Houston, and then he was on the Jets for 2 years, and he was on Tampa for 2 years, and then he was on Miami for 2 years, and then on Washington for 1, and he got almost killed against the Chargers. That was the end of his career.
Yeah.
But the Bills signed him to a 6-year contract extension, and they immediately became the worst team in football.
Per Spot Track, seeing this on Twitter, Ryan Fitzpatrick retires from football after having earned an estimated $82.1 million across 17 seasons. He started for 9 NFL franchises, throwing nearly 3,500 passing yards, 223 touchdowns. He is the highest earning 7th-round pick in NFL history.
Just an all-time finessing. Unbelievable.
And he made it all basically in one contract.
For 3 games.
For 3 games, 1 contract, 3 games, 1 organization. Shout out to
and it's so funny because like Bills fans love him.
Yeah, they do.
And it's like if he had signed that contract and like with the Giants and then did that, like he'd be the most hated man in the history of the Giants franchise. It's like if Broncos fans loved Russell Wilson.
Right. I was trying to think of like a Chiefs comp. Like I don't know if Matt Castle's fair.
Thunderous ovation for Matt Castle.
Right. Because yeah. It probably is Matt Castle's probably your
closest. Like, what do we do? Yeah. Bills fans just live for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Yeah, that's great. Congratulations.
Cool guys.
Got road cap for half a decade. Great. Congrats.
Incredible. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for this Monday edition of That Football Show. We'll be back after the Chiefs game on Saturday. We'll have a show for you, bright and squirrely, and we'll be looking at the Sunday slate, looking ahead to Monday Night Football as well, but then we'll be back also on Monday, too. So that's going to do it. We'll have all kinds of stuff for you here at KC Sports Network. Stay locked in. See us here. We got it covered. We're going to be going live at noon at the Majestic in downtown KC. Historic Tom Pendergast cigar lounge there.
Cool.
Pretty sick. Tom Pendergast, famous businessman. That's what they call him. Businessman is the official term. But we'll be back at you coming soon. Chiefs game. Football's finally back, folks. Football's finally back. So hit that like button for football being back. Hit the subscribe to become a ball knower. For Matt Verderame, I'm Tucker Franklin. Thank you to Ben Holiday, Bottled and Bond, Bourbon, and Holiday Distillery. We will talk to you guys on Saturday. We'll see you then.